Hey, it's winter time. Time to zhuzh up my skincare routine. I want to tell you about it in this video. Hi, my name's Christine L. Conroy. Welcome to Happy Stuff and Fluff, a channel for women over 50 who are getting happy and growing younger. And of course, getting happy and growing younger includes doing things that make us feel we look the best we possibly can, giving us the confidence then to go off into life and do whatever else it is we want to do. And skincare is a part of that, which is why we're talking about it. It's been a long time since I talked about my skincare routine, and that's because when I find, a routine that's working for me, and then I don't change things. And you do need to give things that you do change time to work. So, I haven't really had much to tell you. So I have changed one or two things, and obviously coming up winter time, especially in this country, in the UK, and I'm in the north of England, so it gets very cold and we're increasingly getting more wet and windy weather, and of course all of that plays havoc with your skin. And if your skin's already dry, then you may need to change one or two things, give your skin more than you would normally give to it. So that's kind of what I'm doing. I just wanted to tell you something, actually. You'll know, unless this is your first visit here, in which case I'll leave a link. But I talked about the fact that Mr. Kitchen and I went away for a week to a Greek island recently. And of course, not of course, but I came back with a tan now, which I wouldn't normally do. However, what we did, or what I decided to do, I think I talked about in the video where we were talking about living longer, I talked about the fact that in this country we're short of vitamin D. If you're short of vitamin D, it can give you muscle aches, it can give you joint pain, it can make you irritable, it can make you tired, all kinds of horrible things. And so most of us, those of us in this country, take vitamin D as a supplement, at least perhaps we should be doing. So when I went on holiday, I tried a little experiment. I tried it. I'm not suggesting you try it. I know there'll be people out there, no doubt in the skincare world, that would take a sharp intake of breath at this. Anyway, this is what we did. So we're on a Greek island. It was very warm. It was September, so it wasn't as hot, as it could have been. But it was very warm. For the first 5 minutes every day, we used no sun protection at all. None at all, because the sun does have health benefits, and I was wanting to see if we could benefit from some of those good things whilst avoiding the damage. And so we worked up to about 10 minutes on the next to the last day, and the last day where we didn't use sun cream at all for the first 10 minutes in the sun, and then we used what we would normally use. Which is factor 50 on my face for sure. So that's that as far as sun cream's concerned. That's what we did on the holiday. Now, back home here in winter, although I've just said we don't get lots of sun, and again, I know other people don't do this, I do use a sun cream, even through the winter time. Because, it might be a cloudy day, the sun does still get through. We do get those lovely cold, sunny winter days sometimes. And so I do like to wear a factor of, not a factor 50. I'll bring it down to probably about a 20. Often that's included in moisturiser, or it's included in foundation, which is fine. But I do like to include a little bit of sun cream in the winter time. Okay, so that's sun cream, that's that said. Right, I still use the same cleanser. Let's get into this. I'm still using the CeraVe cleanser, and I use the one for dry skin. If you've never tried it, it doesn't lather. So if you like that kind of lather thing, then you wouldn't like this. But it's that very lathering that you get in a bar soap, for example, that causes the harshness, that's too harsh for your skin. And so I've got used to the fact that you don't get that lather. CeraVe do a cleanser for people with oily skin, and I believe that's a foaming cleanser, but still very gentle. So if you have oily skin, then that would be the one to choose. So I do use that, and I use that morning and night. Now, what has changed from 8 months ago is then I would have gone on to my vitamin C straight away from the Timeless. Well, I'm skipping that for the moment, and as soon as I've cleansed, what comes next is lactic acid. I'm still using lactic acid, and I've grown to love it. It's one of my I'm keeping it things, lactic acid. Now, it exfoliates, it speeds up cell renewal, which obviously we need when we're getting older, but it's firming, and I can feel that it's firming. It works. I really enjoy using this. This is 10%. You can also get 5%. As I've said before, if you've never used it, start at 5% and work up to the 10%. But it's also said to stimulate collagen and help with fine lines and wrinkles. So what's not to like? So that's my first step after cleansing. Then another favourite ingredient, I know it's been so trendy and so hyped that it's now possibly become not trendy anymore, but I love hyaluronic acid. I feel that it plumps. It plumps. You can feel that it plumps. It's a humectant, so it attracts water and it keeps water in your skin. It's naturally occurring in the body, in the skin, by the way, and this is what they use for the injectable fillers. They use hyaluronic acid to plump up your skin. So I really like that, and it also helps to heal. I can vouch for that too, because Mr. Kitchen has suffers from like dry spots here, and then irritation here from glasses, I guess, and he uses hyaluronic acid here, and within days it's cleared up, so it's good for healing. So that's my second step, the hyaluronic acid, and now comes the vitamin C, because I stopped using the Timeless because I lost half the bottle to oxidisation, and that's happened to me more than once, and I was annoyed by it. Even though I decanted half of it when I first got it and I kept it in the fridge, I still managed somehow to lose half a bottle of it through oxidisation. In case you don't know about vitamin C, it does tend to oxidise when it hits the air, and then it's not good for you. So I didn't buy it again. I didn't replace that, and instead I went back to using, back to the ordinary, the vitamin C suspension 23%. Now I say back to because when I first used this, I put it all over my face. I think I talked about it in one of the very first videos I did. And I was like, oh, it was so, it irritated my skin so much. Tightness, and my collarbone was sore for days to touch. So if you've never used this before, be very careful with it. Try it a little bit just to see how you get on with it. But I'm now starting to use this as vitamin C. I will be going back to the Timeless. I'll tell you about that in a second. So I've been using this. Now it's coming third in my routine because it's slightly a heavier consistency than, I think you can see that, it's more of a cream consistency than the serums. And you know, you're meant to go from the lighter consistency through to the heavier consistency of your routine. So this comes along third. This is vitamin C. It's probably one of the most studied antioxidants. It protects against cell damage. All antioxidants do. It calms inflammation, oddly enough. It stimulates collagen, and it's brightening too. So if you've got any sunspots or sun damage, then vitamin C is good for that. And this is one of the highest concentrates at 23% of it. Okay, so that's one change, and then I've added, guess what? Drum roll, resveratrol. Yes, so I'm taking resveratrol as a supplement, and I'm also applying it topically. Now, this is also said to be anti-inflammatory. It boosts collagen and elastin. Now, people will tell you it's an antioxidant, but if you listen to David Sinclair, it isn't much of an antioxidant. That's not how it works in your body, and it isn't meant to be a very powerful antioxidant for your skin. However, I mix these two together, and this is my fourth step. I mix them together. So I'll put a pea-sized amount of this into my hands, 2 or 3 drops of the resveratrol, which is quite oily, mix it into that, and then it goes on my face. Oh, it's lovely. It's lovely. And this is lovely to use on its own. I've used it on its own, especially in winter, because it heats up when it hits your skin, which is lovely. It soon goes away, but it heats up. It's really nice to use. But mixed together as one step, and then I pat it on my face, and then I'll leave that for as long as I can. So then I might go off and, do some other things, do whatever I'm doing with my body or my hair, or get my gear ready, or whatever I'm doing, and then I'll come back to do my final step at the moment, which is, again, a favourite, the coenzyme Q10, which, you've done all of your exfoliation here, your cell renewal building and cell renewal and so on. This now, again, a natural ingredient found in the body, but that diminishes as we get older. This builds now, and this helps to build collagen. It helps with skin texture. It helps with wrinkles and lines. And, I was going to come on and be completely naked from here up, of course. But then I thought, well, I haven't done that before, so you wouldn't see any difference anyway. But the texture of my skin, since I've been using all of these things, is so much firmer and softer. I can feel it. Obviously, it takes time, which is why I say, coming on and changing things up all the time isn't going to help. You have to give these ingredients time to work. And I really think it's starting to happen with me. Now, the other thing I'm not doing now, you'll notice I'm not using the Pro Retinol eye cream, which I was using before. And that's because as part of my nighttime routine, when I used a tretinoin, I used to take the tretinoin to here, up here, and up over my eyebrows. Now I'm taking the tretinoin all the way up here. So all this area where I would normally have used the retinol eye cream, I'm using tretinoin. Again, I wouldn't advise you do this unless you've been using tretinoin for a while and you're used to it. I'm using 1% tretinoin now every day, every night rather. So I take the tretinoin up to there, so I'm not using the eye cream. That's why it's missing from here. So that's what I'm doing. I've got the CeraVe cleanser, then the lactic acid, then the hyaluronic acid, then the vitamin C and the resveratrol together, and then the coenzyme Q10. Now, when it starts to get a little bit colder, I'm going to start using a moisturiser. At the moment, I don't need one. The moisturising effect of the hyaluronic acid and the lactic acid is enough for my skin, which is saying something, given that, I would usually say I suffer from dry skin. So I will use a moisturiser. I haven't decided on one yet. I will do some research on that and let you know. What I have done, what I was using that I wanted to tell you about and recommend, even though I'm not using it, is this, which is a glycolic acid treatment from Good Genes by Sunday Riley. Now, who did I hear this from? It was another YouTuber, a big YouTuber in the UK, and she raved about it. So I went and had a look and I bought it. Now, it cost me £85. And you're meant to use it morning and night. I just couldn't fit it into my morning routine, so I was only using it at night. And I loved using it. But I thought, I was thinking, I can't afford to spend £85 on something and then not use it how they recommend you use it. Because obviously you get the best out of it if you do what they tell you to do. So at some point, when I do change everything up, I'll come back to this. And if you want to introduce glycolic acid into your routine, and £85 is not too much for you, then I would say go for this. I got this from Cult Beauty. I'll leave a link down below. And what it doesn't do isn't worth having, and they even call it a fairy tale ingredient and so on. So it's worth having a look at. That's that. Now then, back to the Timeless. I will be going back to the Timeless vitamin C because I do love it. And also they have an offer on at the moment where if you buy 2 products, I think it might be a figure you have to reach, but 2 products does it, I do believe. You can choose a 3rd product free of charge, and they give you a list of a choice, and in that choice is hyaluronic acid, and I love their hyaluronic acid, probably better than the ordinary. So once I've finished this and this resveratrol, then I'll go back to using the timeless vitamin C and still keep this in my routine, but use it obviously without the ordinary vitamin C. Is that as clear as mud? Okay, that's good. So my original routine is on the website. I have a favourites page on my website where all of these lovely things that I find that I like to read or use or play with or whatever, I put on the website, and my morning skincare routine is on there with all the links. Down below here I'll put down the additions to the links to where you can get the resveratrol. When I was searching, I wanted to include resveratrol in my skincare routine. I couldn't find anything, and then I landed on Mrs. Ginger's site. I've talked about Mrs. Ginger before, and she mentioned the ordinary resveratrol and liked it. So if it's good enough for her, it's good enough for me, and I couldn't find it anywhere else in this format. So if you can and you think it might be better than this one, then please let me know. Other than that, that's my... I'm just looking to see if there's anything else I wanted to tell you about. That's my new routine for the winter. As soon as I've decided on a moisturiser, I'll let you know about that. But yeah, I'm really happy with the way things are going in terms of my skin and its texture, so I want to keep it that way, because obviously if we're going to be living to 120, hey, if we live to 120, that makes me middle-aged, doesn't it? Somebody actually said to me that my over 50 skincare should now be over 60 skincare, given that I'm 61. But I'm also still over 50. So let's stick it over 50 skincare and keep it at that. Yeah, so I'm calling myself a middle-aged woman. And I want to look like this when I'm 120. So hopefully all of these things are going to help me and they're going to help you. Let me know if you do anything different that you can tell me about. That would be great. I'm always on the lookout. Okay. And so then, I'll tell you something else you could do too. Tell me what you would like me to cover that you'd be really excited for me to cover, and I'll do that too. Okay, I'm going now, and I'll see you next time. Until then, remember that on the Happy Stuff and Fluff, we are getting happy and growing younger. See you soon. Bye-bye.